Karma Mini.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Mayasaktamanav Partha Yogam Yunjanmadashrayah Asanshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyasyasi Tatshinu. Now hear, O son of Pritha, Arjuna, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. We saw previously Lord Krishna gave a clue to Arjuna. What is that science that you have to understand in order to become freed from the clutches of birth and death, which is the primary goal of all the spiritualists? And that, Lord Krishna told, is the subject matter of God. He explained, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha. My birth and my activities are transcendental. They are divine. They don't follow the laws of this nature. Evam yo veti tatvataha. But a person who is able to understand the science of my birth and my activities. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naeti mameti swarjana. After leaving this body, he does not take any more such miserable material bodies, but he comes back to me and he lives his eternal spiritual life in a spiritual form. But the question is how to understand the birth and activities, this science of Krishna. So Lord Krishna explained various processes, different rungs of the yoga ladder, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. But none of these processes enable a living entity to understand Krishna in perfection. That is why Lord Krishna is explaining here, now hear from me, me shrinu, the process by which you can understand me, asanshayam, without any doubt. Others may always be doubtful, they will not have clear idea. But if you follow this process, asanshayam, all the doubts about God's existence, His activities will be cleared. Samagram means in completion. So what is the process? These words are very important. Mai asakta mana partha. Mai asakta mana, mind attached to me. Mad ashraya, in full consciousness of me. Yogam yunjan, by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, in complete surrenderance to me, and your mind should be attached to me. In this way you should engage in my service. Yogam yunjan. This is the only way of knowing Krishna in completion. That is why the great stalwart son and disciple of Maharshi Vedvyas, the author of Mahabharat, this Bhagavad Gita, he spoke this very nice verse about knowing absolute truth. He was a personality liberated from birth. And Shukdev Goswami says, Yadangri abidhyana samadhi dhautaya Dhiyanu pashyanti tattvamatmanaha Vadanti hyetat kavayo yatharucham Same mukundo bhagavan prasidatam. He tells, Yad angri, angri means the lotus feet. Abidhyana samadhi dhautaya. Samadhi means intense meditation, deep absorption on the angri, lotus feet of Krishna at every second. This is called Krishna consciousness. Yad angri abidhyana samadhi dhautaya. So when a person is in trance, in samadhi, every second he is able to think of lotus feet of Krishna within the heart. Angri specifically it is mentioned. The meditation on the form of Krishna should not begin by directly looking at his lotus face, or hands, arms, belly, or any other limbs of the body. Our only problem is that we want to compete with God. Given a chance, we want to take the position of Lord. We want to become God of the world. So here, that is why we want to become master of all that we survey. We want to dominate over the other living entities. And this creates all the problems in this world. Every person is trying to lord over other person. And the solution is trying to become servant. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. Gopi bhartuf pat kamalayor das das dasanudasaha. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of maintainer of gopis. So becoming servant and not master is the solution to all the problems of life. Servant of servant of servant of Krishna. Anyway, we are servant. After all education, if we do not find job, then our education is useless. So we have to serve a person who can give us money for our maintenance. We have to, if we are businessmen, no, I am not serving anybody, no. We have to serve our customers. Everybody is engaged in some or the other service. If we become servant, not directly servant, one should be very humble. Servant of servant of servant of servant of God, then that is success of life. In that stage, a person can be very, very peaceful and understand the science of God. And now even in corporates, people are realizing that is why they have coined this word, servant leaders. The leaders should think, I am servant. So actually, whatever we may try, we may present and invent various models, but the right model of leading a happy way of life and eventually understanding God, going back to God, is having a servant attitude as it is mentioned in the Vedas. So that is why we should start meditating from the lotus feet of Krishna. And when a person is always thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna, and 24 hours one is able to continue such meditation, then one can gradually move up and focus on other limbs of Krishna. So those who are always able to have this meditation, vadanti hi etat kavayo yatha rucham. Kavaya means learned persons. They give so many opinions about absolute truth, but only a person who is absorbed in such trance, he only is able to understand janati tattvan bhagwan mahimno. Only such a person can understand the tattva, the absolute truth, see the absolute truth in trance. And the same thing Krishna is explaining here. Maya sakta manaf partha. Mind should be completely attached to me. And in full consciousness of me, you should engage in yoga practice. Engage in my service, offer the results of your activities. So how does mind become focused in that way on Krishna? This is a great mystical science. There are 9 ways of executing it. Shravanam kirtanam vishnoho smaranam pada sevanam archanam mandanam dasyam sakhyam atmanivedanam. So one has to learn this science under the guidance of a very expert spiritual master. But the first and the foremost of all these 9 processes is Shravanam, that means hearing. Hearing is very important. That is why Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna here, Tat Shinu, now hear about this process.